Sorry I'm late, millionaires. Hey. Good evening, good evening, good evening, millionaires. Good evening, millionaires. Yes, welcome to yet another edition of Good Evening Millionaire. This one is going to be a little bit quick, right? Gotta get out of here. Today is my best friend's birthday, and I'm super excited, so we gotta go. But no, of course, I always have time for you guys. So tonight, what we're gonna talk about, I'm tripping. Welcome to the broadcast. Welcome to the replay. If you're just joining the replay, my name is Amma Nancy. I go by AmmaTheCPA, right, which stands for Certified Public Accountant, which means I am registered and licensed to help the public when it comes to different accounting needs. So whether that is taxes, budgeting, credit, all that good stuff, right? I'm certified to do that. Right, went to school just for that, Bethune-Cookman University, shouts out to them, right? All that good stuff. And then, of course, Northern, I went there for my CPA review. So good evening, millionaires. Good evening, millionaires. I'm born and raised right here in Chicago, Illinois, but every single day, right, every single weekday, we come to you with what we call to help you guys get further and faster and with less effort when it comes to your finances. In the morning, we do, thank you, Miss Connie. In the morning, we do Good Morning Millionaire, right? A lot of you guys know me from Good Evening Millionaire, but we also do Good Morning Millionaire. It's all based around entrepreneurship. We have every single morning, right? So make sure that you guys tune in for that. I always post it on my Facebook page, but you can join Dear Millionaire so you can get the notifications as well. If one of my millionaire-minded family could put in the comments how they can join Dear Millionaire, that would be awesome. Thank you, millionaires. Also, make sure that you greet your fellow millionaires. So you want to put in the comments like, hey, good evening, millionaires, Chi-Town, good evening, millionaires, Philly, right? Like, let us know where you're calling in from and then share the broadcast, right? Even if you are, even if you already know this information, it's always good to share it with other people. So you want to make sure that you share it on your timeline, plus in different groups that you are in. So good evening, millionaire. Tonight, we're talking about the hidden dangers of credit cards, right? The hidden dangers of using credit cards. Now, what I can say, if you guys actually check out one of my posts, that one of my friends and business partners posted, she's part of the program, her credit shot up like 32 points, and she actually made, she posted it, I just copied her post, I posted it yesterday, but she was saying how she was one of those people that thought that, I pay cash for everything. Who cares about my credit? Right. But now she's like, man, how wrong was I? So definitely check that out. You want to be in a place where you actually care about your credit and you're working on your credit. But I do want you guys to be aware of the hidden dangers of using credit cards. Okay. If you are in need of working on your credit, then definitely reach out to me or reach out to one of my amazing business partners that shared this video with you. It's a bunch of us, right? But make sure there's one of us and not these others, okay? Okay, millionaires. So what I'm going to ask you to do is give me a number 1 and a share. So put a number 1 in the comments and share the broadcast. So give me a number 1 and a share. It's so funny. I don't know if y'all can tell or not, but I don't have no makeup. I be at work sometimes like this all day with no makeup. And then I come home like, oh my God, I gotta do. But whatever. Y'all see me? Okay. So give me a number 1 and a share. Give me a number 1 and a share. Good evening, millionaires. Give me a number 1 and a share. The main problem with credit cards is that you have the temptation to overspend, okay? The thing is that a lot of times, especially when it comes to our finances, right, most times we want something right now, but maybe our bank account doesn't reflect that, right? Maybe we just can't afford what we really, really want right now. Okay, so then what happens is we check our bank account, we're like, dang, okay, I can't get it. So how can I get it? Oh, how much is on my credit card, right? So then when you see like how much is on your credit card, then you're like, oh, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pay this off. Or maybe I won't be able to pay off the whole thing right now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just send them $200 when I get paid, $200 on it, and then, that way I could just pay it off real fast. Whatever, like we tell ourselves all types of excuses, right? For why we need this $1,000 something, this $500 something, we need it right now, even though we cannot afford to pay it. So remember, interest is the penalty that we pay for the right to own something in advance, okay, that we cannot afford, right? So interest is the penalty that we pay for the right to own something in advance that we cannot afford, which means that when you can't afford it, they're like, okay, I'll give it to you at 18%. Right? And then they say it with a smile because the smile is on your credit card because you see the balance that you have available. So you're like, okay, I can get it. Right? So that's one of the dangers of using credit cards, because you find yourself wanting to use it even though you know you can't really afford it. Right? So what you want to do is, if you know that you cannot pay it off by like the next when you get paid. So let's say it's something and you're like, okay, it's only $200. When I get paid, I'm going to pay off the whole thing. Or it's only $100, right? What you really want to do with your credit card is you want to use it. You want to leave it for emergencies. And in the meantime, until you get your emergency fund established, right? And make sure that you guys check out that video and get your emergency fund established. So, but what you want to do is you want to leave it alone, and then you only want to use it to help you establish your credit. So when it's stuff like, okay, I'm going to put $50 on it, I'm going to pay it off. I'm going to put $20 on it, and I'm going to pay it off. You don't want to buy stuff where you're like, oh my God, I just have to have it, because then you won't be able to pay it off. And it's probably outside of your budget, and then it makes you in more of a financial hardship. So that's number one, okay? So I know that I'm speaking to somebody out there. So give me a number 2 and a share. Give me a number 2 and a share. Good evening, millionaires. Give me a number 2 and a share. Now, Friday, I'm going over how interest works, right? And a worksheet that kind of breaks everything down and how interest works. But what I can say for this is number 2. Give me a number 2 and a share. So put a number 2 in the comments and share the broadcast. Give me a number 2 and a share. Good evening, millionaires. Okay, so number 2 is that what a lot of people don't realize, and like I said, I'm going to go into it in detail on Friday, but the interest makes it way harder to pay it off. And a lot of people don't realize how interest works. Einstein said it was like the 8th wonder of the world. Because you say like, okay, I'm going to put $500 on my credit card, but I'm going to just send them $100 for the next 5 weeks. It's like, okay, you can do that, but don't think that you aren't going to end up sending them an extra $100 or $200 or even $300 or $400, depending on what your interest rate is. It's not going to be dollar for dollar, because think about what's the point of them loaning you the money, right? You really want to use your credit when it comes to big stuff, when you are like ready to invest in real estate and stuff like that. Like that's why a lot of these moguls and stuff always talk about using other people's money. That's when you really want to have your credit. And if you have to use your credit, obviously for stuff like a mortgage, unless you get like a rehab and then you fix it up and all that good stuff, but whatever, right? If you have like your own car note or mortgage or stuff like that, you don't want to end up paying like 10 and 20 times more for it. So make sure that you guys tune in. If you don't understand how compounding interest works and how interest works, period, make sure you guys join me this Friday, okay? We're going to be going through that. So that's number 2, because interest makes it way, way harder to pay off. So what you want to do in this case is just pay off your monthly balance every single month, but you still want to be conscious of what you put on there and make sure that it's something that you can pay off every single month, okay? Number 3, give me a number 3 and a share. Give me a number 3 and a share. Good evening, millionaires. So put a number 3 in the comments and share the broadcast. Not only share it on your personal page, but also share it in different groups that you are in. Okay, good evening, millionaires. And if you're just joining us, welcome to the broadcast, welcome to the replay. Please still make sure that you not only share it, but you put in the comments and participate in the post. Okay, so number 3 is you run the risk of getting into debt. So like how I just said, where you, maybe it's something you can't really pay it off and you're like, oh my God, let me do this. The thing is with debt, millionaires, that I want you guys to realize is that you never go into debt saying like, I'm about to get myself into debt, okay? Nobody ever does that. We get into debt by saying it's only $500, it's only $200, it's only $300, it's just $50 more, whatever. And then you look up and you're like, oh my God, one of my favorite movies is Confessions of a Shopaholic. And it's this one scene where she is like dreading opening up all her credit card statements, and her best friend is like, we got to do this. We have to see, we have to know where you are. So she's like, I'll get the bills. You get the tequila, she's like, but it's like, that's how most Americans are. So don't feel bad, because that's what happens. It's like, we never get into debt thinking like, man, I'm about to just get in debt. Like, forget it. Nobody does that. Okay. You get into debt little by little, little by little, little by little, right? So that's one of the hidden dangers of using credit cards, is because you think it's just like, okay, $50 here. Like, man, I didn't have it, so I'm going to put $50 in gas. Like, oh, shoot, I left my debit card at home. I got to put the groceries on my credit card, and stuff like that. And next thing you know, it's spiraling out of control, right? It's spiraling out of control. So you want to make sure that if that's you, these are just the hidden dangers of credit cards, of using credit cards. So you want to make sure that you use them responsibly, and especially when you're trying to establish your credit, you're working on your credit and stuff like that. You only want to use them to help you establish your credit, which means that you want to put $50 on, $50 off, $50 on, $50 off. Like, maybe 100, but don't, whatever you, I would give yourself a limit. Don't say like, oh, it's only $200, because then what's going to happen is that you're going to say it's only $200, and then when you go to pay it, you're not going to have it. So then you say, okay, I'm going to send them 100. And then you say, okay, I'm going to send them 50, right? But meanwhile, interest is still accumulating. So that is messing you up. And you want to eliminate that. You want to avoid that at all costs, okay, millionaires? So number 4, give me a number 4 and a share. Give me a number 4. I didn't even see if you guys have been sharing. Let's see. Give me a number 4 and a share. Give me a number 4 and a share. So put a number 4 in the comments and share the broadcast. Make sure you share it on your personal page. Okay, I got some shares. Make sure you share it on your personal page as well as in different groups that you are in. Good evening, millionaires. Okay, so number 4, what you guys want to do is, I'm talking about what you guys want to do. Also, what happens is with your credit, number 4 is you minimum payments give you like the false sense of security, right? So put that in the comments for me, please, millionaires. Number 4 is minimum payments give you the false sense of security, which means that you think that because you're paying it off every single month that it is helping and that it's not a big deal because you're making that payment. Now, President Obama, because he will always be my president, right? President Obama actually made it so that credit card companies have to put on the thing, you know, like on the statement, they have to say, if you pay the minimum, you will be paying for X amount of time, right? He mandated that. Why? Because you think that you're paying the minimum payment and you're like, how am I not out of debt? I've been paying the minimum for the past 30 years, you know. So make sure that definitely you guys check out on Friday when I do explain compounding interest and the effects that it really has on your credit and paying stuff off and stuff like that. But it's like, thank goodness that President Obama, thank God that he made that law, because now it's right there where you can see it. But the minimum payment does give you a false sense of security. So if you don't look at that, you know, now I don't know if they have to post it online. I have to think about when I pay mine. I can't really remember, but I know that they have to print it on the statement. So you want to make sure that you take that into consideration when you're paying your stuff off. Okay, last and definitely not least, and then we're going to get out of here, and I will see you beautiful people tomorrow, right? Last and definitely not least is number 5. Give me a number 5 and a share. Give me a number 5 and a share. Good evening, millionaires. Give me a number 5. So put a number 5 in the comments and share the broadcast. Good evening, millionaires. So number 5 is confusing credit card terms. Now, a lot of times you might think that people get mixed up, like the annual percentage rate, and you know what that is. Like, that's the APR when they say the annual percentage rate. They mix that up. They don't know how to figure out the monthly percentage rate, because a lot of times it may say like 13% APR. So you may think like, or even if it says 10% APR to keep it simple, right? So if you put $1,000 on your credit card, you're like, okay, 10%, that's an extra $100, whatever, who cares? But no, that's not the case, because what you have to do is you have to figure out your monthly percentage rate, because it's 10% for the year, but figure out how much is every single month, how much of your minimum payment is going towards interest and how much is going towards principal. So that's what we're going to go over in detail on Friday. You know, but these are just some of my top 5 hidden dangers of using credit cards. You want to make sure that you keep those in mind. Make sure that you guys share the broadcast. If one of my millionaire-minded family members could do me a favor, put in the comments, of course, good evening, millionaire, right? Let us know where you're calling in from. But if you could put in the comments how they can join Dear Millionaire, that would be awesome. We got Free Coaching Friday coming up a day from tomorrow. Right? But of course, every single morning we have Good Morning Millionaire, and then of course Good Evening Millionaire. So if somebody could put that in the comments how they can join, that would be awesome. Also, millionaires, make sure that you guys check out my site. Yours truly, AmmaTheCPA, your favorite CPA's favorite CPA. Go to AmmaTheCPA.com. You can request either a free 30-minute financial consultation with me, yours truly, or you can check out my video series. Unlike any videos that I post on my Facebook or YouTube page, you can check out how you can increase your cash flow. A lot of us think that we have income problems, but we really have cash flow problems. So if that's you and you want to know how you can increase your cash flow, definitely make sure you go ahead and subscribe to AmmaTheCPA.com. Increase my cash flow, something like that. But go to the site and then you'll see a little thing that says like free cash flow tips or whatever it says. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I love you, love you, love you, millionaires, and everybody have an amazing, amazing evening. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Your favorite CPA's favorite CPA, AmmaTheCPA.